Hello, my dear readers and my dear second graders. Welcome to your reading lesson. This is number 10. Some of you have told me that you have been reading, actually, many of you have told me that you've been reading every day or almost every day, and that's wonderful. That makes me so happy. So today, just like in the last lesson, I'm going to give you some tips about what you do when you find a difficult word. And of course, we've already talked about these things, right? These are the things that help us get started and get into a book. We use our stop and jots to remember ideas, which we can use to retell the story later to a friend. And maybe we might find an idea that'll help us write a story of our own. We stop, think, and retell. The sneak peek, reading and bigger scoops, all of those things are wonderful. Now let's move on to something new. What should I do if I find a difficult word? Now, we started to talk a little bit about this last time, and we don't give up. When we see a hard word, we don't just close the book and say, I can't read this. When words are tricky, we roll up our sleeves. Okay, that means we get busy, we get to work, and there are ways that we can figure these out. One great thing you can do is look through the whole word part by part. So the example here in the card is a pretty long word. But if we break it up into small parts, tam, bur, or tambor, een or ein, we're not sure, maybe, but tambour, tambourine, well, that doesn't really sound like anything I know, but tambourine does. Okay, so we break it up into smaller chunks. It's almost like when somebody gives you a cake, you don't put the whole thing into your mouth at first. You cut it and you eat it piece by piece. So let's look at this sentence here. That board game is not fun at all. It is too hard. In fact, I think it is. Okay, hold on. I can figure this out. So this is the word where I got stuck. What can I do? I can break it up into smaller parts. And if you look at the middle part of that word, it says play. I know that. Oh, and I think I know that word also. That's a trick word. Able. Play able. Play able. Playable. 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 Well, let's see. That board game is not fun at all. It is too hard. In fact, I think it is playable. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot something. Un. Un means not, like unfriendly, and unfair. Not friendly, not fair. So unplayable, 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 unplayable. I get it. That board game is not fun at all. It is too hard. In fact, I think it is unplayable. And I've actually heard that word before. Maybe you have too. Maybe you didn't know how to spell it, but you broke it up into smaller parts and you were able to figure it out, break it up, and put it back together. Let's try another one. Now, just like the blue card that we looked at where it says look through the whole word part by part, there's a card next to it that says look for a word inside a word. So in the last example, we saw tambourine, tambourine. There were no words in there. We just read the small parts. But in the word unplayable, we found play and we found able. Let's look at this here. And this might be long. It might not be. I don't know. She is a very good. Uh, okay, let's see. So this is where I'm stuck. Let me break it up. And let's see if there's anything here that I can use right away. Oh, well, I know ball and I know play. And if I stick an ER next to something, it usually means someone who does, like a baker or a writer or a reader. All of those have ER at the end. So now I've got ball and player, a person who plays ball. Okay. And volley, volley, volley. Well, volley in tennis or in ping pong is when people hit the ball back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So volleyball. Oh, volleyball, right. You're going to learn to play that when you get a little older. A volleyball is usually a white ball that you hit over a net back and forth. So what do we have here? Volleyball player. I see it. She is a very good volleyball player. Ah, okay. So I looked through the whole word part by part, tambourine, and I looked for a word inside a word. And if you look at that card, you can see the word welcome has the word come, like come in. And the word pill has the word ill in it. Oh, I see. And the word tickle has the word tick in it. Okay, and the word volleyball has volley and ball. Okay, and player has the word play in it. So that's what we can do, boys and girls. When we have a big word, break it up, see what clues we can find on the inside. Maybe we know some letter combinations that'll help us say it, and we put it all back together. And many times we'll be able to come out with the right word. Does that make sense? I hope so, because that's the end of this lesson. Boys and girls, race to pick up a book, find a comfy spot on the couch or by a sunny window, and why don't you read a little bit? And if you find any words that are tough, see if you can solve them. I'm going to give you more tips in the next lesson. Bye for now. The end.